eat me? I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat you. Oh no! What's wrong with me? I think I just got cabin fever. I'm bored. All right, guys. So what is a swim bait? If you're new to fishing, you've maybe never heard of a swim bait. You might already know exactly what a swim bait is, or you're just maybe not sure. Basically, what a swim bait is a lure that mimics a bait fish. I mean, I know that's what a lot of lures are doing anyways. They're kind of mimicking something else, but swim baits are super realistic looking. There's lots of different styles. And they work really well. They've really busted onto the fishing scene the last 3, 4, 5 years and became very, very popular. I've had luck with them. They're fantastic. I look at it as there's two categories of swim baits. I just put it into two categories. You have your soft swim baits and your hard swim baits. So I'm going to start off just showing you a few examples of some hard swim baits. So this one here, for example. So this is just mimicking a swim bait here, and this has multi-joints on it. So you can see, and essentially the more joints on it, the more realistic it's going to swim in the water, as far as I'm concerned. Now you can get double jointed and it'll swim kind of like an S-shaped, but these ones here, it's almost like a snake almost in the water. It's hard to explain, but it looks just really realistic when it's in the water. Another example right here. This one's got tons of joints. This one almost looks like a snake in the water. It's so long and has so many, but it's a really cool looking lure. That's, you know, I don't have an example of just a single jointed swim bait, but you get the idea. Those are hard, and you know you're going for reaction strikes. It looks real, and you want that fish to hit. Then when we get into the soft swim baits, you know, you have, you know, this one here, for example, it's mimicking a perch, and it has a realistic looking tail. Some of them have what they call a paddle tail, or some people call it a boot tail. Like this here, this is kind of like a perch here, and that's a boot tail there. So is that. And these paddle tails work really well for me. The fish seem to just love paddle tails. They look really realistic in the water. You can get soft swim baits that kind of have different sections like the hard swim baits do. Like this one here. And you got your just very plain swim baits like this. These work really well. There's lots of different types of plastic swim baits. You just have to look and check them out. These aren't everything I have. These are just a selection that I put out. You know, you have your micro swim baits here. Yeah, so the plastic ones, they look very realistic as well. I think when the fish grabs onto it, I think right away it feels more realistic too. Like a fish knows, but it definitely feels more realistic to the fish than when they grab on to a hard bait. So I generally tend to use the plastic swim baits more than the hard, but I do use both. Pretty much every company out there makes swim baits. There's so many different ones out there, so many different colors out there. What I can recommend, for the most part, is just pay attention to the bait fish that are in the lake or the river or the pond or wherever you're fishing, and get something that looks like those bait fish, and your swim baits are going to work really good. But on the other hand, sometimes if those aren't working, you can throw something that's not even in there. Like this is like a trout, like a brown trout or some kind of a trout here. You can throw that in a lake that has never seen trout before, and they might go nuts for it. So that's why it's always good. I always say it, to have a good selection of lures, because some days what normally works for you might not work, and you might have to throw something that you'd think wouldn't work. Got some other this crazy swim bait here. I think I showed it in some of my other videos. This is more of a muskie and a pike lure. It's a big one, and like swim baits go to just huge, massive lures, and they go all the way down to small lures. So yeah, this is another cool one as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hammer that like button, and do me a favor, subscribe to my channel so you can see all the great content that I'm gonna have coming out. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.